Good morning, everyone. I am Fatima Hashmin C. Abdul Madid. So, today I'm going to discuss my report about Critique on the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012, Republic Act number 10354, also known as RH Law. So before that, there are my objectives. The first is understand fully background, rationally, salient provision, and potential impact of the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012 or RA 10354. And the second my objective is have a stand or position on whether he/she agrees or disagree on the existence and legality of the said law. Rationally of the RH law. The Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Act of 2012 or RA 10354 or also known as the RH law. So the responsible of parenthood is refers to the will and ability of a parent to respond to the needs and aspirations of the family and children. The RH law was primarily enacted on vision that the poor will have access to reproductive health goods and services which they cannot afford. So let's proceed to the elements of reproductive health law. So these are the elements. So the first one is family planning information and services. The second is maternal, infant, and child health and nutrition including breastfeeding. The third is prescription of abortion and management of abortion complications. Fourth is the adolescents and youth reproductive health guidance and counseling. The fifth is the prevention, treatment, and management of reproductive tract infections, RTIs, HIV and AIDS, and other sexually transmittable infections. Sixth, the elimination of violence against women and children and other forms of sexual and gender-based violence. Number 7, education and counseling on sexuality and reproductive health. Number 8, treatment of breast and reproductive tract cancers and other gynecological conditions and disorders. Number 9, male responsibility and involvement and men's reproductive health. Number 10, prevention, treatment, and management of infertility and sexual dysfunction. Number 11, reproductive health education for the adolescents. And lastly, the mental health aspect of reproductive health care. So, this element of RH laws, it shall also provide funding support to promote modern natural methods of family planning, especially the Billings ovulation method, consistent with the needs of acceptors and their religious convictions. Salient provision. So, we have the midwives for skilled birth attendants. So, the law mandates every city and municipality to employ an adequate number of midwives and other skilled attendants. So we have emergency obstetric care. Each province and city shall ensure the establishment and operation hospitals with adequate facilities and qualified personnel that provide emergency obstetric care. Hospital-based family planning. So the law requires family planning services like ligation, vasectomy, and intrauterine device placement to be able in all government hospitals. So, contraceptive as essential medicine. So, the reproductive health product shall be considered essential medicines and supplies and shall form part of the National Drug Formulary. So, reproductive health education. So, the RH education shall be taught by adequately trained teacher in an age-appropriate manner. Employers' responsibilities is shall respect the reproductive health rights of all their workers. And the woman shall not discriminated against in the matter of hiring, regularization of employment status, or selection for retrenchment. Capability building of community-based volunteers workers. Community-based workers shall undergo additional and updated training on the delivery of reproductive health care services and shall receive not less than 10% increase in honoraria upon successful completion of training. So, let's proceed to prohibited acts. So, prohibited acts, usually illegal activity that endangers a person's life and well-being and destroys communities. So, this law also provide for penalties for persons who perform certain prohibited acts such as the following. So, the first one is with malicious intent or service provided for in this act or intentionally giving out incorrect information. Refusing to perform voluntary ligation and vasectomy and other legal age on the ground of lack of spousal consent or authorization. Next is refusing to provide reproductive health care services to an abused minor or an abused pregnant minor whose condition is certified to by an authorized DSWD official or personnel even without parental consent, particularly when the parent concerned is the perpetrator. Refusing to extend reproductive health care services and information on account of the patient's civil status, gender, or sexual orientation, age, religion, personal circumstances, and nature of work. Lastly, requiring a female applicant or employee as a condition for employment or continued employment to involuntarily undergo sterilization, tubal ligation, or any other form of contraceptive method. So let's proceed to legislating RH or reproductive health. So the enactment of RH law was a painstaking path, and the main blockade was the constitutional provision um, that provided in Article 2, Section 12 of the 1987 Constitution, which mandates that the state mandate the sanctity of life. In 1978, Constitution itself mandates that the Philippine government must recognize the importance of life and protect the life of the mother and unborn. So, family planning techniques like condoms are considered anti-life, and these are seen as being against the conception and the sanctity of life. And furthermore, these pro-life organization aggressively support the use of natural. So, the spirit of the law is to allow women to choose freely whatever method to family planning is fit and appropriate to them. Claiming that one is better as compared to the other delimits this supposedly free choice that women truly deserve. So the last that I will be discussed is the long political battle. So in 1960s, with the creation of a population commission as a measure of population control to manage high fertility rates and elevate poverty. So the RH law, which was finally enacted in 2000, and it was a product of 14 years struggle. However, in March 2001, the law was challenged before the SC of the Philippines, delaying its full implementation. So the FDA, or the Food and Drug Administration of the Philippines, was prohibited from obtaining, distributing, or issuing new certificates of registration on more than 50 different contraceptives in 2015 due to a second temporary restraining order, which eventually caused many licenses to expire. The FDA previously approved the Implanon contraceptive implant, and it caused an abortion. The Department of Health is now able to freely distribute contraceptives to its regional offices and numerous NGOs since the TRO has finally been lifted. So that's all for my report, and thank you for watching.